whereas she get pregnant, I give her money for abortion. She don't get it. I'm there the whole 9 months. I'm there with her the whole 9 months. I didn't take her. I gave her the money, but I would, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't really.
Right.
So taking her to doctor's appointments the whole 9 months and what have you. And then the night of his birth, we get in an argument at the hospital, and she like asking, had I told my mom she was pregnant, because my mother didn't know her. You know what I mean? Even though she'd been in my house, my mother wasn't there, was asleep, or what have you. So they never met.
Right.
And I was like, I hadn't, but I had no choice. And then her saying that it ain't mine, it's her oldest son's father. Kid. So she names him Kevin Darnell Allen. The first child's father's name's Kevin. My name's Cornell, but she named him Darnell. Her last name's Allen. So,
wow.
So for 4 years, I know it's my son. Like, we argued to the hospital, and I'm like, well, don't be coming talking about it's mine when we know it's mine. You know what I'm saying? As far as the incidents.
Wow.
So I still play the role as his godfather in his life, because, you know what I mean? Like, this fucked up, basically. This is a serious situation, but in the midst of, we not being in a relationship, we just like, have an understanding, situation, we get together or whatever. Like I remember we used to get in arguments, like, I'll go pick her up to come over, right? But one of my better friends called, somebody I really want to, and I'd be like, I got something to do, and we'll drop her back off, and she get to Kirkin, and that type of situation.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't like we were in a relationship. So just some spiteful, young, not knowing, not really spiteful. Then though I think she had her first kid at like 15. And the father was, the first son father was like 20, 24, 25, a little older. Or you know what I'm saying? He was older than her, basically. Yeah. So, so 3 years after that, that's, I went to school with her. But it was one of those situations. He was like, I used to like you in junior high. I remember you used to, I was like, I used to, that's what it was. She's like, I used to give you the look. I was like, I thought you was I thought you was gritting on me. Like, I thought you was frowning, like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, your look, like, you got a mean face when your look is mean. Like,
you got to clean the look up.
Yeah. Like, come say something, touch me or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
wow.
That was crazy. But yeah, so that's how I got custody of my first son, because it's like my whole mind state changed after the 4 years when remember I told the story about the girlfriend that cheated on video for me.
Yeah.
I was playing like stepfather. So during those 4 years, that's who I was with, helping her with her 2 daughters.
Wow.
Right. So I'm going through all this. I'm running a record label. I'm in the streets trying to fund it. And so after the 4 years of me being his godfather, her aunt, I guess she didn't tell her aunt the whole story. So her aunt calls my mom's house and like, your son needs to take care of his kid. Whereas I guess the jail system do the DNA test for the Section 8 or whatever, Section 8 or whatever.
Wow.
And it wasn't his. First one was, but this one wasn't. And so hence now I gotta go from godfather to father with a 4-year-old that thinks somebody else's father that was the deadbeat father.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So right then and there, like, my whole mind state changed. Like, I would never want to, you know what I mean? Even though I didn't realize that was like a trauma, that's a mental issue for my son, that, you know what I mean? It wasn't until he passed that I realized that we both definitely, and his mom too, needed counseling. You know what I mean? because
Yeah.
my only trouble or worry about when he passed was the fact we never got to have a conversation, because he used to be like, we had a conversation, a half a conversation when he started, just getting in trouble for nothing, little small things, just because of his temper or his attitude, because he was going through the fact, he was like, why didn't I come get him, and
Right.
why I let his mother name him after somebody else. You know what I mean? These are questions he was having. But I was trying to, like, I was going to take him to, take him to change his name. He could be Darnell Allen Dixon, versus just Allen. We was going through that, but we ain't never get to have that conversation. So he was mad at, was kind of upset at me, but I'm like, it wasn't my, you know what I mean? I wasn't conscious enough at the time. And plus the conversation of me paying for the abortion as well. You know what I mean? So that was one of the conversations I never got to have with him. But that whole, from me getting him at 4 until he passed, you know what I'm saying? He had, I was stuffing him with information, you know what I mean? Like, but I wasn't as woke because I was still closed-minded in some ways. Like, we used to have like arguments, because I remember I ran a record label, but at this time I got a son, like, and after all the things I've been through, I was more transitioning into producing and DJing, right? Because I'm from DC, and I was, I've always been about DC rap scene way before the internet. So at this time, as he growing up, I was still doing music, but I wasn't like pushing him into music because I was still trying to catch up. So and Benz, though he was, those 4 years, he didn't have the best of anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was wearing his brother's hand-me-downs. Like, his brother's hand-me-down drawer, it was.
Wow.
And then plus, his mom had more kids out there, had 2 more. So it was 4 kids, 3 different baby fathers. But until I got him, you know what I mean? So he had 4 traumatic years. Thinking somebody else that was his father that still was a deadbeat.
Wow.
So that kind of changed my whole outlook on parenting, because even though I stepped up to get him, I still wasn't open enough to like understand everything.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's how I think that's how I try to remember sometimes about being conscious, is that it took that much, you know what I mean? Like, from having a son not be your son, knowing it's your son, getting cheated on video, about to get on child support to sign another child's birth certificate, you know what I mean? To that situation, just going to hell, to get in custody of my son, to never being a father, and you know what I mean? And then after that, I got this, you know what I mean, have this wonderful human being, you know what I'm saying, with all the tools to be great.
Yeah.
He you know what I'm saying, he passes, giving his life for a friend, like,
wow.
And yeah, so, but he was trained to, be fearless. He definitely was fearless, but yeah, that was the only thing that, kept me from, to know how he went. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, he grabbed the gun, took the gun, beat the boy ass, and you know what I mean. But in the end, he he got shot and hit in the artery. So
wow.
got honorably. So yeah, that was. But like I said, that led me to, I still wasn't totally woke after that, and until after my son was born and dealing with my stepdaughter with sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Seeing that same similar situation, which they giving her morphine and it's bad. And for her, and what's funny is for her, I think it was tied to her father not being around as well. Like she was under a lot of stress. You know what I mean? Like And like what I've come to find as being like a step parent is like you can't a biological parent bond can't be duplicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you have contact. I can't speak if you don't have contact. Like if you never met them, you know what I mean, or never met her. I guess that's a little different. But if you've been in their life, they've been in your life. You can't duplicate that. I mean, it's good. I've always been a good step parent. Like I don't believe in steps. Like you know what I mean, because I guess I was a only child with a single mother, and a only child with a single father. That we come as a package, 2 separate packages on each end. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so I had a stepmother and a stepfather. So I know it's just like, but
it's different. Yeah, it'll never be like the biological, but you can form a good relationship there.
Right, you can form a good relationship, a mutual respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's done right,
Yeah, I got a great stepfather, I could say, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, with the relationship with my mom, it's like compromise. You know what I mean? Because I know he gonna ride with her, and she very commanding, demanding of his frustration. It's like, so I can't really confide in him because he gonna run back to her, and this just start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't, I want to be like, sometimes I'm like, that's your goddamn wife. You gotta control this shit. Like, I ain't got shit to do. I'm her son, but I'm fucking grown. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been grown since I was 16. I ain't listening to you. You got me. I'd have been dead taking her advice in the fucking streets. Like this lady was like the police one time when she was outside in her trucks with binoculars trying to stalk me in the neighborhood and shit. Because of the girl that cheated on me had my mother thinking I was some big drug kingpin. And you know what I mean? Like I'm dealing with a court situation. I'm quitting. I moved with this girl to quit the streets. You know what I mean? And she the one selling it. She's selling my leftovers at a high market value because the relationship go bad. She gonna try to. I mean, like and she always like sided with the ops. You know what I mean? Like they the ops. Like how you gonna side with the ops if I'm your son? Like that used to be my argument. All right, man, you got me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
yep. You gotta be loyal.
Hey, like you supposed to be my mother. Like I can't depend on you. You gonna take any like damn. Like so that kind of like I said, that affects you as a man, like your own mother. Like I'm like shit, I can't trust my mother if I gotta prove my innocence. Like she can't be a character witness. This ain't how I go in the damn movies. You know what I mean? The mother supposed to be you know what I mean? Like I used to have this. Yeah.
Oh, what was she gonna do with her surveillance? What was she? She was just trying to catch you.
Man, fucking up my rep. That's the hell she was doing. I gotta get teased and shit. Like I'm outside. For one, it was my fault because I'm going through something, right? So how for me, I'm not the gangster or the type that's on the street confrontational, starting shit, the bully in the streets. You know what I mean? Everybody in the streets know I gotta go. I'm the golden boy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to rep the neighborhood on rap. So this is for me, the streets were funding. You know what I mean? But I wasn't the person that was mainly in the streets doing it, but taking losses. So the recoup, I had to like be out on the block now because I just got in a bad relationship, so I'm leaving everything I left the streets with it out there. This a place, right? But it ended badly. Like I'm gone. My car is stuffed with everything that's prominent. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she threw all the rest of my shit away. Like I'm like, it's that bad. Like,
wow.
Right. So now she doing all types of crazy stuff, calling the police and calling them over this and that. So it's like, yeah, it took me through another level, but that led to me get my son. But yeah, it messed me up a little bit, definitely. And it had me looking crazy. And that led to more bad situations. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, my mother almost got me killed. You know what I mean? I'm looking like food. You know what I mean? You dealing with street shit, and your mother out here coming through the cut talking about. I remember you was a baby. Your mother used to live right there. I want to hear that shit. Like these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, why you can't be doing that shit? Like, shit crazy, man. And she don't even come to the hood. You know, the same hood she used to grow up in. She wouldn't like, I